Hi everybody, this is Mindy. This is video number 3 in a series of basic drawing videos. And what we're going to do today is put to good use our shading techniques that we learned in the last video. So hopefully you've had a chance to practice and discover what works best for you or what feels right to you. But if not, that's okay, because that's what this next project is all about, is practicing and figuring out how you can get your lights and darks and your light source and all of that figured out using your shading technique. So the reason I like to do this one is it's easy and it's fun, but it looks really complicated, and you can fill an entire page with this type of thing, and people just kind of freak out when they see it because they think, oh my gosh, that's so cool. But it's really basic once you learn how to do it, and you can do all kinds of fun things with it. So the first thing that we do, and it starts out just very basic, but the first thing we do are 4 basic lines. So on a piece of paper, and it doesn't matter what paper you use, it can be the back side of a piece of mail, it can be an envelope, it could be anything that you have that you can draw or doodle on. I like to use copy paper or printer paper because it's so bright white and it's smooth, and I like to do that because I like to use mechanical pencils when I draw this. But gosh, it works on any kind of paper. If you like to use copy paper, that's great, but if you're doing a finished piece of artwork that you're going to frame and keep for a long time, or you want to give away to somebody, copy paper tends to disintegrate, or let's just say it doesn't age well. Sometimes it yellows with age, or it kind of falls apart. So if you're going to do a finished drawing for someone that they're going to frame and hang on their wall and hopefully keep for a long time, you want to get a better drawing paper, and you want to look for acid-free. That's what the paper will say on the cover when you're at an art store. It'll say acid-free, and that's what you want to look for. That means the paper won't yellow with age, and it'll stand up over time. So today's drawing, we're going to start with 4 lines, and they're going to be basically curved a little bit like this, same distance apart, like that. So do 4 lines. It's just a really easy curve, same distance apart. Okay, now we're going to do another set of 4 lines, but going another direction. This time, put your pencil on this end right here, and then move it up a little bit and do 4 more lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now go to the end of this line, move in a little bit, and do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, then you're going to go to the end of this one, move in a little bit, go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. Now, before moving on, since these are kind of floating out in the middle of nowhere, go ahead and bring those down. And yours may not look like mine, doesn't matter. Okay, get it as close to that as you can just to get started, and then as you get really good at this, you can change it up however you want, but this is a good way to get started. Now on the end of each one, connect with a curve. So you do that, that, and that. There's 3 of them. Then you'll come over here and curve, curve, curve. Come down here, curve, curve, curve. And then here you're going to curve, curve, curve. And that's the basic knot. Okay, basic knot. Now, just for fun, we're going to connect each part of the knot together with a loop. So I'm going to just do this and connect with a loop. Now the trick on this is to try to keep it the same size, basically same distance apart. It can get a little skinny on parts, but keep it basically the same. So now maybe I'll connect this one like this. Now I want to connect this part of the knot with this part. So maybe I'll go like here. And then maybe this one to this one. All right. Now I want a few loose ends. So how about if I do a loose end here? Maybe a loose end coming out of here. I can maybe add a loose end coming out of here. Okay, there you go. Now I know that I probably made it look a little bit easy and you may be struggling and figuring out how to do these loops, but keep in mind I've done it a million times because this is my doodle. When I'm sitting on the telephone talking to somebody, this is what I doodle. So I've done it a few million times, but it's good. It's a good, fun drawing to do to practice your shading techniques. So I'm going to assume that my light source is coming from above my head. So when I'm looking at it, that's what I'm thinking. The sun is behind me. So my darkest spot is going to be in here where all of it comes together and the overlapping of parts of the knot all come together right there. So if you make that your darkest shaded area, that's a good place to start. Now, when something goes underneath something else, there's usually a shadow right there. So these three are going underneath that three. So I know that it's going to be dark there and lighter as it comes this way. So dark and lighter. Now what shading technique am I using? I'm using hatch at this point. I will probably switch to crosshatch at some point, but you can use smooth, you can use a combination of all of them, just like I will. Okay, that's a good start. Now, as these curve towards us, they'll get lighter, but then as they curve to go away from us, they're going to get a little darker, right? Because they're going farther away from us. So I might be a little dark on this edge. Okay, that's a start. Now I will eventually want to shade these lines out because it's also rounded this way. So I would shade, this is where my cross hatching will come in. Okay, there's a start. Then I'd probably turn it this way. And again, these are going under these. So I'm going to go with dark here and fade out to lighter. Okay, and as they curve away from me, it's going to be dark on this end. And then when I have a minute, I can shade this line out, which shows me where this thread or rope or ribbon is going underneath the other. Okay, then I turn it this way and I would continue on. So these three go under those three. So I've got another chance to show my shading technique and show how one goes under the other. Okay, and of course you'd have dark over here going that way. I can go over here and show dark. So you're going to show where the light can't get, right? You're showing through shading. You're going to show where an object goes underneath another object. So these three are going under this three. So that's why you're showing shadow over here. And then as far as these outer ones, this piece here goes under here. So I know that that's going to be dark right there, right? And I know that these both come out from underneath, so these are going to be dark right there. And then get lighter. And you can work in any order you want. You can look for all your dark areas, which is what I do. I look for all my really super dark areas first, because I know where they are, because those are the pieces that are coming out from under another piece, right? You just keep moving like that. I'm super excited to see what you guys come up with on these. Just practice a few. And rewatch the video several times if you need to figure out how to do your initial knot. And then remember, these I just made up. You just make up as you go along. The trick is to make sure that they stay about the same thickness when you draw them, so that they don't look like they get too thin or become a string if it's really a ribbon. Okay, so keep them about the same thickness, but they can do anything. You can have them, you know, several of them coming out and twisting around, and, you know, whatever works for you. Okay, have fun.